Hello and welcome to another Raggy's beer review. Today going over to Charnwood Brewery, and it's their Rainbow Fox, supporting rainbows. I do like rainbows. It's a deep copper ale, 4.2% it says. A ruby red beer made with, let me get my phone. It's the darkness. I can't see when it's too dark. It needs to be lighter. It's not the fact that I'm absolutely going blind as the thing. So anyway, a ruby red beer made with traditional English malts balanced with fruity, spicy hops, produced exclusively for rainbows. Brewing happy beer. Charnwood Brewery, established in 2014 as a local family microbrewery, are really pleased to be able to support such an important local charity which places families at its heart. Part of the profit from this bottles is donated to rainbows. So I thought rainbows was something else at the time, but yeah. So rainbows. Hospice for children and young people. Ooh, now that I didn't know. Obviously a hospice is more end of life sort of care. Yeah. So Raggy's Beer Reviews, or Billy as most people know me, certainly also supports such a thing. For anybody to lose a child or a young person, it is absolutely heartbreaking. So we'll drink and we'll salute, and well played, Charnwood Brewery, for this. Very kind gesture. So, and I'm sure the beer drinkers of Nottinghamshire and beyond will also raise a glass. So a copper ale, literally half a centimetre of head. I'm getting a malty nose. I'm getting a hint of spice on the nose. Did it say spice? It just says deep copper ale. Yeah, I'm definitely getting malty and a bit of spicy going on. Charnwood Brewery, I've recently drank a fair few. Sometimes you don't see a beer for ever, and then all of a sudden, this seemed to be around, and I went to the hop pole in Beeston the other week, and went in one side, and I thought, oh, let's go in the other side. And I went in the other side, and two Charnwoods on the bar, and it's like, oh, thank God. And then over at the Hucknall Beer Festival, I also had a 6.5% Charnwood beer. So, yeah, it's nice to be having the beers on cask. Obviously, I bought this from Adventure Beer Company, based in Nottingham. And, not many bottle shops around at the moment. We've lost 3 in Nottingham, around Nottingham area, Loughborough, Kimberley and the West Bridgeford. So 3 bottle shops gone. There's only 2 left now. That is worrying. Other breweries, there are breweries that are doing like a stand-in bottle shop sort of thing. So locally, Magpie Brewery, Fire Rock out of Sutton Ashfield, who actually have got a bit of a bottle shop thing going, although it is a bit further away, are doing that. And some pubs as well, the likes of the Pottle Micro pub in Beeston, Totally Tapped in Beeston, they do a bit of a bottle shop, but obviously not an extensive bottle shop. The closest one to me that does that sort of thing is Craftworks in Sherwood. So there are more, but it is a blow to the beer community to for breweries to lose places where their beer is sold. You know, every bottle shop lost is more beer that's not being sold through them, whichever beer that might be. You know, especially if it's local. Um, yeah, it's a bit of a blow. Um, on that side of things, at least. So, here we are. I don't know if there's rye with this, but there's a real spiciness to it. Um, so I lost my mum. She was at hospice at Nottingham City Hospital. I'm not sure if it was classed as a hospice, but it was, you know, it was end of life. So it, like most people who lose loved ones, truly resonates, and you know, it pulls the old heartstrings, and yeah, and even for me now, March the 2nd coming up uh, is the anniversary when I lost my mum, and I always remember she was at the hospice at City Hospital. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but she was in there. And she perked up. She's looking really healthy compared to some of the other people who looked. They'd gone all yellow, and it was that cancer taking hold. I don't know. You know, it's it's awful to see anybody you love in that way. And uh, um, yeah, she perked up and she says to me, and my mum was a challenged individual. She she led a childhood with no love, and put in a convent, and my grandma, you know, there was things that happened to my mum, um, and my grandma put two of her children out of all the children she had into either foster care or my mum into a convent. And you know, obviously, product of your environment. My mum came out of there as a 16-year-old. She had me Darren, my older brother. She had Sean, who she fostered away. She had Alison, who she also fostered away. And then she had me, who she kept. And my sister Joanne. I mean, there was supposed to be. My sister was supposed to have had a twin called Sally Ann who died at birth. Can't verify that for any reason whatsoever. And yeah, my mum had a um, difficult life. You know, she was a product of environment, no love, hit the booze too hard, um, made absolutely terrible decisions with men. You know, any man who hits a woman is not a man, in my opinion. You keep your blooming hands to yourself, and you know, I don't like that sort of stuff. And yeah, we fell out. I got kicked out as a 16-year-old. My mum was with this lovely chap who threatened my dog. I picked up the sledge. I'd have killed him that night, and he, luckily for him, he backed away, and I walked out of the house. Otherwise, it would have been a very different story. I'd probably have been in prison by now, but well, coming out of prison probably. But hey ho. But the same bad choices my mum made, my sister, my younger sister made, and still makes those bad choices. Whether she's got better now, I don't know. There comes a time, I think, in most people's lives when, yes, you may be family to people, but there's only so much that you can take and that you can put yourself through. And at some stage, there has to be a trigger where you say, I can't do it anymore. You know, I literally can't take that sort of stuff. And when my mum died, there were things that happened, and you know, that came to an end, and I thought, right, that is it, no more. But yeah, as for a hospice, you know, to lose children and young people, I can't imagine the pain that you would go through, beyond anything that I've ever felt and that I'd ever want to feel either. You know, I hope and pray and touch wood that I never see another family member pass. Certainly not any of my absolute immediate family. And I'm talking my wife, my my two sons and my daughter and my grandkids. You know, do not want to see any of that. Obviously, we're all on the pathway, and that pathway, sadly, for some, is not a long pathway. But you know, the hopes and aspirations are that they live a long, healthy, prosperous life. We can all hope, can't we? We can. It makes you very humble. I try to do the absolute best. I'm not perfect. I don't think anybody in this world is perfect. And if you are, you're dreaming. But I try to do the absolute best for my family. You know, work a lot of hours. I do have a little vice, which is the beer, obviously, doing beer reviews. It is my vice. And it's a vice that I need sometimes. Tonight, no, I don't actually. I'm actually in a place tonight where the beer's not important. Not at all. That's good. It's a good sign, because when you're desperate for a beer every day, and I was at one stage desperate to leave work and just get home and drown myself, and that's a dangerous path I've been on, path that took me a long time to get away from. Sometimes you can be so destroyed mentally that you can drink yourself into oblivion, or you can do silly things without the thought of the people you leave behind. And you know, it happens to a hell of a lot of us. It's a world. It's a tough world at times. It is. So let's crack on. Thank you, Charnwood Brewery. You know, sometimes a beer review of mine is probably the most different beer reviews you'll ever come across, and they're not watched by a lot of people, even less at the moment. It seems to have gone on the right downward spiral. But it is what it is. I mean, those people that watch the beer reviews, you know, I'm always thankful of those people that do. I do understand that I put a lot of beer reviews out there. The cask beer reviews, they're only for people who just want to know about the beer and the beer only. That's where they're aimed at. These beer reviews are aimed at people who want more than just a beer review. So it appeases both sides of the equation, although there's always somebody who says, I don't like your 1 minute reviews. I don't like your 15-minute reviews. Like, oh God, pick a side. I actually really like that. It's a lovely malty beer with a spicy element to it. 4.2%, so it's an easy drinking beer, and it just gets me nice and chilled. I've just had a beautiful Chinese meal, spicy chicken, egg fried rice, chips, curry sauce, wah, and there was peppers and chilies in the spicy chicken, and topped off with some onion rings, and it's just made for a nice meal. It's our standard Friday night meal, to be fair. Around about 22 quid for 3 of us, and you know, we'll probably polish it off by watching a bit of TV now, and saying goodbye to another week, and a good week. A week where my hard work is starting to really show. Gardening is a thing where every time the seasons kill your work. You know, as much as you do some great work, it don't take long for weeds to grow back and shrubs, tree, and you know, and everything else. But going into this summer, this spring and summer, I've got plants by the thousands growing at work. You know, I'm saving my boss an absolute, probably paying my own wages and then some in plants. And because one of us is getting married at Cockcliffe and one's getting married at Newark, I've got the thing to make both sites look as amazing as I can. Can I do it? Hell yes. I'm Mr. Rag, top class gardener. So for me, Charnwood Brewery, loving these modern traditional beers. Different styles, different ABVs. I had a 6.5% the other day. Wow. Yeah, look at that. Crystal clear pour. And wow, 18 minutes. Long review. You can tell when I do a long review that there's more to it than just talking about beer. For me, definitely a good 4.45. Really nice, spicy copper ale. And, you know, it gave me that ability just to talk. And this is reminiscent of what Raggy's Beer Reviews started off as. My coming down to the shed and just talking. And not knowing if anybody's really watching. Certainly not knowing if anybody's really watching and taking any notice. Or they just want to know what the beer tastes like. There's a lot that do, obviously, you know, for obvious reasons. It is a beer review. But, yeah. And now and again, you know, I forget this, everything else, and it's just about the beer. And I think the hospice thing really brought it to me. And, yeah, super enjoyable beer anyway. Thank you for watching.